So hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the orientation for the essay program by ForumIAS, and in this session basically what I'm going to tell you is with respect to essay we are going to delve into a few major questions and as well as essay writing. So we'll develop some understanding of how to write essay as far as the civil services examination is concerned. Alright, so in this session we are going to divide the entire session into certain parts. All right. The first thing that we'd want to discuss is with respect to significance of the essay. In terms of weightage in the examination. So this should address why you should prepare for the essay. Then the second thing is in this essay is with respect to the third thing that we want to discuss is approaches. Every essay, you know that, or nearly every content work is going to have an introduction, it is going to have a body, and it is going to have a conclusion. All right. So here with respect to content, we'll have three elements of content. All right. Content has three elements. The first is the introduction, the second is the body, developing content for it. And the third is the conclusion. Apart from this, also a certain I would like to discuss certain recent changes that have come in the examination. Marking patterns, then some special techniques. This will be done all throughout the, and last but not least, general guidelines All right, so this is the scope of this session. The first thing that I would want to tell you about the essay paper is that essay paper has equal marks in terms of its weightage. That is with respect to GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. All right, so in terms of marks, it is the same. It is about 250 marks. But here there is a big difference. If you see GS paper 1, average marks will be in the range of actual average marks which is awarded to the candidates. I'm talking about on the above average or average to above average. The marks are usually in the range of 90 to 110. There have been years where there has been 120, 125, but averagely we can say that GS paper 1, averagely the marks have been in this range. If you see GS paper 2, the marks have been, depending on the different years, it has ranged from 95 to, it has gone up to 120. There are cases of 135, 140 also. 2017, for example, had very high marks awarded in GS paper 2 and GS paper 3. Last year marks have been less. GS paper 3 also, you can say that the marks would be somewhere in the range of 100 to 125. And then you have GS paper 4, where is a big variation is there. People end up getting from 90 to around this range, 90 to 125. This is what you will be scoring in general studies paper. Now essay here, essay, that is the fifth pillar. Essay here, the marks will range from about 120 to as high as 160. So if you see, in terms of effective weightage, essay has a very high importance. In terms of effective weightage, essay has a very high importance because the marks awarded itself is in the higher range. Having said that, getting 30-40 marks, for example, in the downside, what happens is most of the times that if you do not prepare well, then this 120 is not assured. What happens is we end up getting 90 to 110 marks, which means that we are out of the race. Unless you have done something extraordinary in other paper, you are out of the race. Even with 120, you are not in the race. You will not be able to get a good rank, all right. And so which is why the marks go up to 160, and that is why if you see, the effective weightage of the essay paper is very high in the actual scorecard of a candidate, and which is why you will often hear, because this variation is there, यहाँ पर 40 marks का variation हो जाता है. Same is here with GS paper 4. So that is why you will have heard that ethics and essay paper are what is going to decide your rank and cadre. All right, so when you are preparing for these two papers, rest assured that you are doing it to decide what rank you are getting, what cadre you are getting. All right, so this becomes very important in terms of the effective weightage, and that is why essay becomes very important. Now, a few things with respect to here, I want to tell you about recent changes that have happened is, so earlier, what was the recommend, because we have been able to, since we work directly with the student community, so we can tell you that whatever emerging patterns are there with respect to both essay preparation as well as essay marking, we try to stay updated. So one thing that I want to tell you here is with respect to marking pattern is, and preparation pattern is that earlier what was the most, which you will always read often, is that most people will say that essay does not require a separate preparation. While this is very true, essay does not require a separate preparation. So I had one of my former students, he has a good under 20 rank. So what happened is he shared his notes with me for about last year, and he said, sir, I have shared my notes with you, and it's about 70-80 pages of notes that I have made for my essay, and these are my test papers. So when he wrote a blog post, and when he came to speak at forum, he said the first thing that he said was that I have not done any special preparation for essay. All right. And if you visit, then I asked him that why don't you share everything that you have? He shared it on his blog. So one thing that we will observe is that on his blog, or with respect to every candidate who has secured good marks, they have made some notes or they have done some groundwork for the essay. So what happens is that when people read, students' interview who has secured a good rank, that I did nothing for the essay, they actually take it verbatim and they believe that nothing has been done, specific preparation has been done for essay. While I would tell you that most people do some specific preparation for essay. So I told my student that while you have said that there was no specific preparation for the essay, you have 70 pages worth of notes, and you've written 7 to 8 tests on essay. And what will happen is a lot of people will follow you thinking that you have actually done nothing for the essay. So this is where the communication gap happens. So one thing I want to tell you here is that in the recent years, because of increased competition, people are actually preparing for the essay. They give it. Yes, obviously the weightage that is given to the essay in terms of the time that is allocated for the preparation, that is much less compared to is the time that you give for other subjects. All right, so that way it's easy. And so that is one recent change. The second recent change is that earlier we used to have one single essay. There was infinite word limit. The more people used to take pages and pages and extra pages and write. Now we have two changes have come up. One is that we have limited space, and the second change is that you get 2 essay topics. Writing 2 essay topics is a little challenging. Writing 2 essay topics has been a little challenging for most of the students, because you need to switch gears thinking about one topic and then suddenly moving to a completely different topic. So that has been a recent change in the past few years, and which is why it also requires a certain amount of practice, because there will be, the minute you have 2 essays, you have time allocation and time management problems. All right. So if you see the essay paper, when you have 2 questions, you also have to think about the time allocation with respect to choosing the topic and actually writing it. All right. So here I would want to tell you here is that whenever you have to write an essay, when you see the 2 questions, whenever you have to write an essay, you can give up to between 5 to 10 minutes, all right, for choice of essay. All right, between 5 to 10 minutes for the choice of essay. See, for every essay, and in an ideal situation, given that we have 3 hours, 1.5 hours is to be given to each essay. All right, that's an ideal situation. So doing the maths, we have 90 minutes for each essay, where we can say that 5 to 10 minutes have to be given in choosing the essay, not more than that. If you overthink, each essay will look like a good one, equally good or equally bad, and therefore you will reach a decision fatigue. All right, so make sure that you do not spend more time than this. All right, and once you will always have these feelings while writing the essay. Sometimes for some people is that I could have chosen something else and maybe I would have done better. So those things happen. All right, but make sure that you do not give more time than that. The second is, after writing the essay, you have to do some brainstorming. All right, so the ideal time for brainstorming is 15 to 20 minutes. All right, you could be brainstorming, which we'll do in developing the content. You could be brainstorming, you're writing, 15 to 20 minutes, not more than that. If you do more than that, then we'll be in trouble. And if you see the remaining hours, actually writing the essay, that has to be given between 50 to 60 minutes. All right, now this is the ideal situation that we are talking about. That has to begin 15 to 60 minutes. This is how you're going to plan the time management for your essay. All right, so this is with respect to the time that you will give in terms of planning the essay. Now, one key question comes is how to choose an essay topics. How to choose the essay topic. So the first thing that is there is that when choosing an essay topic, essay topics are of two types. One is, there are certain topics which are, essay topics are of two types. One is an objective one, the other is a subjective essay topic. All right. So an objective essay topic is one where largely everybody will nearly agree that this is the meaning of the essay and this is what it means. A subjective essay topic is one where nearly a lot of people will have different interpretation of the essay topic itself. All right, so there are different kinds of essay, an objective essay type and subjective essay type. I repeat, objective essay is something where everybody nearly agrees that this is first the meaning of the essay, this is what the essay is demanding, and second is there is also likely to be convergence in terms of the content of the essay. All right, there is some likely to be convergence in terms of content of the essay. That is an objective essay. A subjective essay will have divergence both in what is the interpretation of the essay topic and second is with respect to the content also. Let me give you an example. All right, for example, if there is a question on cyberspace or cyber security, emerging arena of internal security. Cyber security, emerging arena of cyber security. Now, most people will agree that it is an objective essay topic. Cyber security and emerging arena of internal security or national security. Most people will understand that, okay, this essay's topic is about cyber security, which is a tangible thing. National security is a tangible thing, and it means that cyber security is an important dimension of security and we must take care of it. This is what is an objective essay topic. All right. And let us take another example of a subjective essay topic. All right, subjective essay topics converge with what you call philosophical essay topics or quote-based essay topics. All right, so they will be very similar to philosophical essay topics or quote-based. Not all quotations are subjective, but yes. So, for example, a quotation like change is the end result of all learning. Change is the end result of all learning. If you have a statement like this becomes a subjective essay topic because different people are going to interpret it differently. And if you see, there will be a lot of content variation in the essay. All right. So when you choose an essay topic, with respect to the marking pattern, we would recommend that if there is an objective essay topic and you have sufficiently read on the topic, then by all means go for an objective essay topics. What is the reason? We have seen very clearly that objective essay topics, when attempted, they provide more predictable marks and there is very little variation in the marks. Second is that objective essay topics do have averagely the marks in objective essay topics is higher. Compared to philosophical or subjective essay topics, the marking pattern in the subjective and philosophical essay topics, the marking pattern has a huge variation. The marks can go as low as 70-80 marks to suddenly the marks can go as high as 150, 160. All right, so that variation happens depending on how. And another thing here while choosing your essay is that you have to know yourself. If you have very good command over the language, you can go for, to some extent you can go for the philosophical essay topics. All right, but if you have poor command over language, it is better to stick to more objective, more tangible topics. All right. Then another thing is that make sure that whenever you choose the essay topic, at least read the topic 2 or 3 times. At least read the topic 2 or 3 times, all right, to get started with it. And what is going to happen is that even you do not have a eureka moment while choosing an essay topic. Please do not have a eureka moment. All right, what is the eureka moment? The moment, the feeling that I found it. You think that I have prepared for this topic, sociology is my optional, and I have gotten some question from society, and it hits, you have, or maybe you have read a unique article, or you have watched a TV show, or you were watching a certain documentary and an essay has come from there. And what happens is you have a eureka moment, you think I have found it, and therefore you go and attempting that essay. All right, it is not recommended. If you are having an eureka moment in your essay paper, there is a problem. All right, so avoid any eureka moments in the essay paper. Here I would say is read all the essay topics, so that read all the questions of the essay paper, so that you are able to make a informed choice with respect to all the questions. Otherwise, if you just go by, at the first glance you see a familiar essay and then you start there, and what happens is at some point of time it is likely that you will feel that you may have skipped looking at another essay topic which was equally easy or equally good, or you perhaps even had a good knowledge over it, and you have missed it because in haste you did what people do in prelims, that they mark the first choice without reading the other choices sometimes. So avoid this tendency. Now another thing that I want to tell you with respect to the choice of topics here is that remember that do not write your entire, when you're choosing an essay, and if you've read an opinion article, or if you read a single article on that topic, which is the opinion or an editorial piece of a newspaper, please do not attempt those sorts of essays. Or at least, see, what happens is, unlike most people, when they start preparing for civil services, we all read editorials, and this bias is carried out in the initial years. Of course, these days people are much more well informed, but what happens is that people feel that an essay, because it is said that essay is a reflection of your personality. All right, so while that is true, I would also say that UPSC requirement for essay is more well balanced, covering multiple dimensions. All right, we'll eventually discuss this. But here is what I want to say is that if your entire essay content is based on a single opinion article or a single theory, then there is a problem. All right, let's say you have read a great article on deglobalization movement, or you have read a good article on, for example, why there should not be any subsidies for the poor. All right. Now, if you're influenced by a single article, and if you're not going to have other views, then what is going to happen is you're going to write only one dimension of the question, and here is where marks fall. All right. So essay, when you're choosing an essay, you have to ensure that you are not ending up writing answering a question that is based on a single article or a newspaper opinion. All right. The second thing I want to tell you with respect to choosing the topic is, and writing the essays, that do not write your entire content from a single source. All right. By single source, I mean that if you have read a certain, a single work or a single article, and you are writing everything from there, then that is a problem. Here, I'm not saying single source means coaching notes, because coaching notes are generally coaching notes will be well rounded, they will have covered all the dimensions. All right, but if you're reading from a for example, if there's a question on poverty and you have just come up with, you have read something, say Amartya Sen's ideas on poverty and capability approach, and what you have done is you have just written that will not fetch you marks. You will have to delve into other dimensions of the topic also. The third thing again I would want to repeat is that philosophical essays or subjective essay topics, they see a very high variation in marks. All right, so for example, last year the marks that went was 175 by my student Apurva. All right, so while 175 marks looks good and the copy has been provided to you, I would say that though the marks should not be the ground for choosing the topic. For example, if you were thinking that if I write on a philosophical topic and the marks have gone very high for philosophical topics, that should not be a criteria. Your criteria should be that I'll be writing a good, well-balanced, multi-dimensional essay. All right. If you start chasing marks that way, that thinking that I'm going to write a philosophical topic because last 1 or 2 years toppers have written philosophical topics and the model answers released by the coachings, including ours, has been on philosophical topics itself, then that is not recommended. Having said that, again, last year we had made it very compulsory for every student to write philosophical topics, and as a pattern. And last year we forced everyone to write. Yes, so last year we saw we did adopt early, writing of philosophical essay topics, and therefore last year it was mandatory for everyone to attempt a philosophical topic. All right, because section A was having all philosophical essays. All right, so you will have to learn to write how to write a philosophical essay. Now, with respect to beginning your how to begin to write your essay. So the first thing is, please do not think of how to introduce the essay. All right, you will have plenty of ideas with respect to how to write the essay. Do not stop yourself at, do not think in a serial manner as to how you will introduce the essay. It is a good idea to do the brainstorming first. You do the brainstorming with respect to the content, and from that brainstorming, ideas of introduction and conclusion are going to emerge. I repeat, when you do the brainstorming, ideas are going to emerge from that brainstorming with respect to the introduction, with respect to the various parts of the bodies, and with respect to the conclusion. Now here I'll tell you a very conventional approach. A conventional approach is to do your rough work on the last page, on the last pages, just before the next question is there, and make sure that you just write ideas, the first things that come to your mind. All right, for example, if you are talking about fake news, then you have heard the terms such as infodemic, right? Information pandemic. All right, so fake news, threat to democracy. Now these ideas are there. A lot of these ideas, fake news, if when you think of fake news, you also think social media, how social media is spreading fake news. So whatever ideas come to your mind, you put those ideas on a piece of paper, and they could be random. Do not try to think along the structures. First, exhaust your mind by just thinking the first ideas that come to your mind. You write them down. From then we will go for the second stage, that is organizing your ideas. I would recommend that you can, in the examination, you can carry a pencil, so that to do the rough work, it looks neat, but you can write it from a pen. And also think of the keywords that you can think. For example, if it is about if it is about Indian society, all right, you think of terms like dominant caste. You can think of terms like for example, feminization of labor. You can think of terms like Sanskritization. It doesn't. These are general studies terms. All right. So whatever terms come to your mind, you can think of those keywords or terms. All right. Then another conventional approach is, when you are brainstorming, you have to generate key ideas, key phrases. All right, and all right. So one approach is, again, is the simple approach that you analyze any issue from social perspective. All right. So if you see, one analysis that is to be done is one thing that is to be done is, you are going to see from the angle of social issues. For example, if any topic, if you take cyber security, what is the impact on society? All right, then what could be the impact on, from political aspect? Then analyze it among the economic aspects. All right, any topic, these can be analyzed along social, economic, political. Apart from this, you can also analyze something from a historical perspective. Then you can also imagine, put your essay topic, essay question through a mesh of what you call technological. What is the technological perspective? All right, you think it from what is a futuristic perspective. That is, what is the future of it? All right, so you can analyze. Then there is also what you call the environmental perspective. All right, so this is one way where we can analyze our essay and generate ideas. All right, the second way to generate ideas is from the perspective of various social groups. For example, analyzing it from the perspective of women, from the perspective of children, from the perspective of senior citizens, elderly. Then you can analyze this from the perspective of, let's say, transgenders. You can analyze this from a Dalit perspective, from the perspective of tribesmen. You can analyze an issue from the perspective of poor, urban poor, and what will be the impact. Even on nearly any topic, you can analyze it from the perspective of poor is not exactly a social group. The poor does not form exactly a social group, but it forms an economic class of itself. But you can analyze it from these these groups. All right, what would be the possible impact on this? All right, and then you can analyze it in terms of the impact on nation. All right, you can analyze it from the impact on differently abled. See, why this is important is because the commission wants a well-rounded personality who's able to think in terms of, various, what you call this, social groups, or you can call it stakeholders. You can also call it stakeholders. Yes, so the commission wants that a person is able to think from multiple angles. For example, when we are going for infrastructure development, all right. So what an engineer is going to do is, an engineer is going to come up with, understand the structural aspects of an infrastructure project. He's also probably be able to figure out the cost aspect. But what he may completely fail to figure out is that the infrastructure has to be, say, differently abled friendly. All right. Differently, which is why a generalist or a civil servant that is where the role of an IAS officer comes, that he says that, okay, this is the infrastructure cost, have you factored in what additional enhancements need to be done to make sure that that infrastructure is suitable for the differently abled. All right, the second aspect could be from the perspective environment, that you are thinking of absolutely any issue. Have you figured it out that what is the damage that is caused to the environment and what can be done to offset that damage? All right, so that is another dimension. Then the third way I would say is recommend is, so from the last year we have been recommending this, and you will see soon, either this year's toppers or the coming years, you will see this addition as a popular approach in a lot of blogs. All right, the third approach is always analyze an issue from two approaches. One is Gandhian perspective. We will do some classes on this with respect to Gandhi's views, and the other is Marxist perspective. These two perspectives are also very important. They add completely another dimension to your essay. They add complete new richness to your essay. All right. Why I'm quoting Gandhi and Marx? That is because the literature of Gandhi and Marx is so vast and so diverse. The ideas are so powerful that nearly every walk of life, every conceivable walk of life, there is a perspective that can come from Gandhi and a perspective that can come from Marx. Even you take something that is as futuristic as the Mars mission. All right, something that was not conceived during the time of neither Marx nor the time of Gandhi. All right, something as futuristic as that. All right, you can write, about the Mars mission from the perspective of Gandhi. You can write about the Mars mission from the perspective of Marx. All right. So we'll be discussing how all these things will also be building your content. All right. So this is with respect to brainstorming. All right. With respect to your body. From this brainstorming, you will get a lot of ideas, and from these ideas, you are going to adopt. Some of these ideas you are going to adopt to make your introduction. All right. If you get a good idea with respect to introduction, mark it there itself. If you don't get a good idea, about how to introduce the topic, so which is why we will not stop there. We'll go through all these ideas and pick up one of these ideas and start our introduction. So with respect to introduction, there are a few approaches to the introduction, which I'll tell you. An introduction is a very important part of your essay. An introduction is a very important part of your essay. It is also a very important part of your general studies answers also, because introduction gives a very first impression to the examiner. Second is that an introduction also helps build trust with the examiner. By reading the introduction, if I'm not able to get what this essay is talking about, by reading an introduction, if I'm not able to get what this thing is talking about, then probably that's not a very good introduction. All right. So there are several ways in which we can introduce our essay topic. All right. The first most popular approach is quotation-based approach. All right. You can begin your essay with a popular quotation. All right. You can begin your essay with a popular quotation. It is a very conventional approach and it is a good enough approach. The other approach is to begin your essay with a definition. So whenever you have an essay, let us say, whenever you have an essay and there is a certain keyword to it, try to define the keyword. All right, this is a classical approach, has been used for a very long time. If you have an essay and let's say globalization, then you can very easily begin by simplifying what globalization is. All right, so that is if you have an essay on, for example, trade wars, you can begin by saying what a trade war is in the first place. All right, if the question is on inculcating value education, you can begin your essay by telling what is a value, what are values and what is value education. All right, then there is another approach which is going to be a story or anecdote approach. A story or anecdote approach. So here in this, what we do is, in the story or anecdote approaches, we can begin with, this has been very rewarding. There are multiple approaches. One is that you can begin with an anecdote. For example, if there is a question on women. So you can begin with an anecdote or a story talking about Sita and Geeta, very popular names, Sita and Geeta. Sita is born in a village about 100 kilometers from Mumbai, all right, and Geeta is born in a very posh locality of Mumbai, for example, and you can trace their lives on women empowerment, all right. So in this approach, what happens is we build a story, we try to make a point from the story, and we often refer back to the story sometimes, all right. We often refer back to the story to demonstrate our point. For example, gender discrimination or the challenges of being born in as a woman. So you can write about parallel lives of Sita and Geeta. You can begin from there and you can introduce your essay and you can refer back to these time and again. All right, you can refer back to these time and again throughout your essay. All right, then there is also what you call a scenario approach. All right. Now the scenario approach, what we do is, scenario approaches, we begin with the scenario. All right, generally science and tech will have a very good scenario approach. All right, generally science and tech essays, you will have a scenario approach. So what happens is we imagine a scenario, we extrapolate a current situation, we magnify some qualities or adjectives of the current situation, we magnify it and we imagine a scenario. All right, for example, if there is there is science and technology or artificial intelligence. All right, if there is an essay like that on any science and technology, you can write that the year is 2100 or 2100. The year is it is the second decade of the 22nd century. Machines have replaced all human labor. All right, robots have taken over the world. All right, a universal basic income has come for all citizens. All right, and what is thought to be a utopian idea has been implemented into a reality about 100 years from now. However, the challenges of the human challenges, the universal basic income, mechanization, complete mechanization of all physical labor has not led to great social impacts, great impacts on the society. People are much more, physical health problems have been replaced with mental health care problems, right? This is one scenario. A more deadly scenario could be, for example, the year is 2050. The year is 2050, all right, and let's say there is a question on cyber security. You can paint a scenario like the year is 2050. The Indian security establishment has been dependent on the American global positioning system, all right, for its domestic use for regional navigation. There is a bleep on a computer and the computer screen shows a threatening message warning the government that all its banking networks would be compromised if a certain ransom amount was not paid to the sender of this message in bitcoins. Before the government can take a decision, the national power grid fails and the entire nation is pulled into darkness. All right, banking transactions begin to fail and ATMs go out of place. Satellites are unable to communicate with earth based stations and get disoriented. The entire government of India and its entire economy has been held hostage to a well planned cyber attack. And this is a scenario, all right, and then you can begin and you can come with a, in the second paragraph you can talk about, in the second paragraph you can talk about this situation is not going to be very far in the future, and it is a likely situation that can happen, and this brings us for the need of having a robust cyberspace security policy. All right, and you can introduce your essay. If with respect to women issues or for example feminist issues, all right, you can have another introduction, right? For example, if you're aware of gender issues, you see that women, feminists, they see that nearly all problems that afflict women it can be rooted to the discrimination that is prevalent in the society towards the women, right? So if you see, their primary argument will be that this societal discrimination, unless this societal discrimination is there, women are, to end any sort of discrimination to women, these differences between men and women has to be done away with. All right. So what you can imagine a very, on this, we'll do it in the subsequent class with respect to the scenario approach. Make sure that when you come up with the scenario approach, very quickly you wind up and come to the topic. All right, whenever you begin with the scenario approach, very quickly, in about half a page or 1 page, you come back to the topic. It should not be, it should not be such that after reading the scenario, I'm not able to link it to the topic. All right, that should not be there. Yes, then another thing that I want to tell you about is that with respect to sentence construction, right, sentence construction, this is very important. Sentences as far as possible must be short. All right, sentences as far as possible must be short. All right, they must be crisp. If a sentence can be broken into two, you can feel free and break it into two. All right, your examiners are expecting that you are able to write an essay in simple English. All right, sentences must be short. Second thing I would want to, second technique I would want to tell you is that whenever you write a sentence, write qualified sentences. This simply means why. Whenever you write something, all right, suppose you're going to write that India is a poor country. All right, please justify why you're saying this. You can say that because the majority of the population, just writing that there is a poverty problem in India, and you must qualify it with something. For example, if and that qualification should be in context of the essay topic. All right. For example, if there is a question on agriculture and you're writing that India has a poverty problem, you must qualify it by saying this is because a majority of the population is dependent on agriculture, and agriculture is no longer remunerative. All right. Sentences must be simple, they must be easy to grasp, they must be clear, concise in communicating. Make sure you do not have too many grammatical mistakes. All right, please, some of you who are not very careful with punctuation, please make sure that you put appropriate full stops and commas. All right, make sure that you use appropriate full stops and commas. Do not use very difficult words, do not use very flowery words. All right, use simple English, use common words of, common English, that is day-to-day English. And all right, then another thing that I would want to tell you is with respect to this, to the essay is that with respect to conclusion of the essay, all right. So yes, another thing is with respect to the essay is that make sure whenever you're writing an essay, you are addressing multiple dimensions. All right, let us say we have an essay on globalization, or the 2020, the end of globalization. and you actually believe you have read an article or you have been reading articles where it says that from the year on 2020 onwards, there is a sustained deglobalization movement, and therefore globalization is no longer going to be there. Even if something like this is asked, you have to write both sides of the coin, which means that why you think that globalization is not going to be there and a critique of globalization. And you also have to write that why do you think that globalization came in the first place and the positives of it. Alright, so make sure that you are not just addressing, an essay is not your opinion on the topic. No matter what somebody tells you here, be very clear that an essay is not your opinion on the topic. An essay is always addressing different facets of it and coming to a conclusion. Alright. Then with respect to the conclusion is, your conclusion can be, the conclusion has 2 or 3 major criterias. The first criteria is that it must end on a positive note. As we discussed, we had a science and tech or cyber security essay topic. We came with a doomsday scenario, a 2050 scenario. Alright, where all the computer networks are compromised, the government is held to ransom by somebody who has compromised the GPS system, the American global positioning system, or the internet. Something has happened. Alright, and you have written the importance for the need for a good cyberspace security policy. Now, when this is a doomsday scenario that you projected in the introduction, and therefore that is what you call the hook. The examiner reads it and he gets hooked to your essay and he is reading through it. But in the conclusion, you must end on a positive note. You must be a problem solver rather than a problem creator. If you are not a problem solver, you are anyway a part of the problem. Alright. So on the conclusion side, you must end on a positive note. Alright. Then with respect to conclusion is that conclusion you can sum up whatever you are trying to say. Alright. Or you can propose a futuristic view of the world. Alright, can be projected. Suggestions could be before the conclusion. Suggestions could go before the conclusion. Alright, when the last paragraph do not have too many suggestions, try to end on a positive note. That is the single most criteria for a conclusion. Alright, and do not introduce a new idea on the conclusion. The third thing about conclusion is, please do not introduce a new idea in the conclusion. You are concluding on a topic and suddenly you have introduced something new. Alright, so these are some general things. Now, general observations and some things I would want to tell you about, just 4 or 5 things about the essay is that make sure that you refer to your essay topics while you are writing the essay. Make sure that you refer to your original essay topic. Alright, because what happens is when we start writing an essay, if you see 2 papers especially, we conduct a test series in Delhi, so I can tell you that whenever I go, I am very excited when there is a GS paper 4 or the essay paper. So if you walk, you will see that people will be writing very fast, and the expression on their faces is going to be, their emotions will keep changing as they write. So one thing is there that essay generally becomes, if you're writing on a topic of your choice, it becomes very emotional for some people. Alright, and therefore they write with lot of emotions. Alright, and sometimes what happens is when you're writing with emotions, you forget what was the original essay topic and you end up writing what is in your mind. Alright, and you go with the flow, and at the end of the essay you realize that you have deviated from the topic. Alright, so first concern with respect to your essay is that the first test of a good essay is that it does not deviate much from the topic. Alright, and how you can avoid it? You refer to what your essay topic is at least a few times during your essay. Alright, make sure that you refer to the original topic. It has 2 benefits. One is that you will not deviate, and the second benefit is the examiner is assured. The second benefit is that the examiner is assured that you have not deviated far from the essay topic. Alright, the second thing is, the second aspect with respect to your essay topic, some general pointers is that make sure that you do not dwell on a single idea. See, what happens is that when you have read something, let's say you have read about Yuval Harari, alright, his ideas on for example, artificial intelligence, alright, or his ideas on evolution of human society. The idea is very profound, alright, and what happens is that you have put that single idea all throughout your essay. So your essay is just representing one idea. Make sure that this is very heavily penalized in the commission, and which is why you will see that sometimes people with very good essay skills and they have very good reading history, and what has happened is that what they have read has actually come in the exam and they have ended up writing from a book that they have read, and they get absolutely low marks like 60, 70, 80 and 90 marks in the essay. This is because when you are dwelling on a single idea, alright, then there is a problem. Your idea has to be, do not be mesmerized with a single idea and make it the theme of your essay, alright. Then another aspect with respect to the essay is that an essay has to be, as I said, multidimensional, which means that academically we try to necessarily look for a critique of the essay topic. All right, try to look for a critique of the essay topic. If there is a very simple, obviously positive looking idea like essay topics which says that a family is the last recourse for the individual, which means that family is a comfortable place where an individual can seek both peace and comfort. All right, so this is a fairly simple idea, and you can keep writing about how the family provides safekeeping for the individual, it provides comfort for the individual, it provides the emotional support. You also have to critique it, where you can say that family is, and as an institution, it is also a very primordial institution that has also spread lot of, is also responsible for a lot of negative virtues, negative values of the society. It is the family which gives gender identity to individuals and promotes gender discrimination. It is family which promotes strong family values and ending up promoting nepotism in the society. Do you get it? Even if you are very happy with the essay topics, think of an academic critique of the essay. No matter what somebody tells you, go for an academic critique. If you are, so then another thing with respect to your writing your essays, I would want to tell you is that if there is a question that is a very simple question, is that is non-alignment movement dead? All right, now the essay topic is not a factual answer that yes, it is dead, non-alignment is no longer required because the world is no longer bipolar. With the collapse of Soviet Union, an entire pole has been dissolved, so therefore according to me the non-alignment movement is dead. When a question like this is asked, that is NAM dead, they are not asking your personal opinion whether non-aligned movement is dead. You have to, don't begin an answer by saying that yes, according to me it is dead, and then you explain it. That is not what is required. What is required is your understanding of the non-alignment movement. All right, is perfectly all right if this topic is not making sense to you. You will eventually, it will all eventually make sense to you eventually. So it is do not begin with an answering the question. All right, it is better to what is expected is that you analyze the issue and you arrive at a conclusion. All right, then another thing with respect to your writing your essay is that try to see what happens is in the actual examination people give 70% time to the first essay and 30% time to the second essay. This usually happens in the first mains. So make sure that you give equitable or nearly equitable time to both your essays. When the first time you write your essay, it happens that you end up writing only one essay or 70-80%. It is perfectly acceptable if you do it in your first few essay tests, but it is not acceptable after writing your fourth or fifth test. If you are ending up, sir, in 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 15 minutes, I have written my first essay, and the last 45 minutes, I've just scribbled something in the second essay. So that should not be done. All right. The next thing is that make sure that you have enough practice for philosophical essays. We made it compulsory last year for everyone to write on philosophical and abstract topics. We made it compulsory for everyone to write on philosophical or abstract topics, and last year's paper, if you see, it is compulsory for all candidates to write on abstract and philosophical topics. That was made mandatory by us, thankfully, before the mains last year, and the question also was aligned in the same line. And so make sure that you have writing practice because this is going to be there. Another thing is that, last thing is that please take care of all the classes. We'll be coming up with a few theme-based classes for your essay. So make sure that you make your notes from these classes as well as your additional notes if required. Largely your essay is going to be derived from your general reading of the civil services syllabus. All right, your reading of the civil services syllabus but for certain topics which are very predictable. For example, if you see last year's booklet, whatever questions have been asked in last year questions paper, at least 2 or 3 questions choices are there in the paper exactly as it is, whether it is media, whether it is artificial intelligence and all those things. The questions will be repeated from the test series. Whatever questions are asked, they will be repeated in the commission's question paper. All right, except the philosophical topics. The questions will be repeated. So make sure that you are prepared for it. There was a time where you did not need to prepare for it and you could just write on the fly, but these days a certain preparation is required. All right. Then the last thing I would want to say about the essay is that, see, the essay requires that it requires an interdisciplinary approach, which means that you will have to derive everything from your syllabus. So when I was talking about this brainstorming, all right, when I was talking about brainstorming, it is imperative, it is very much required that you know your entire all GS paper 4 syllabus, all general studies, all 4 papers, syllabus has to be very well read. So apart from these approaches, social groups and stakeholders, and social, political, economic, historical, technological, futuristic dimensions, make sure that when you put your essay, you have an essay topic, you put it through the sieve of the general studies syllabus. All right. So from paper 1, you have world history, post-independence history, modern history, art and culture. You see that how does your essay topic, what content can be picked up from there. All right, then you can put it through the sieve of Indian society, that what content can be picked up from there, from the perspective of geography. All right, so you can pick up things from there. Paper 2, you have general polity and governance, international relations. Pick up what can be picked up from there. GS paper 3, you have economy, you have disaster management, you have science and technology. See what you can pick up from there. GS paper 4, philosophy. Two papers basically. Paper 4, philosophy and society. These two are the subjects. These two are the subjects from where you can have maximum content pulled up in your essay, and polity and governance also to some extent. All right, but these two bases is from where you will build a lot of content of your essay. All right, so make sure that you are running it through the entire syllabus. All right, you are running it through your entire syllabus. You have moral thinkers, for example, in GS paper 4. See that what all thinkers you can bring in your essay. All right, so try to do this. Also, this year what we have introduced is that what we would be checking for is, one approach that we'll be checking for is, that in your essay, if you can, come up with this bake approach. All right, the bake approach, try to see that can you come up with a book reference. Can you come up with a book reference in your essay? All right, can you come up with a book reference that in this book this has been done? This will be covered in your essay classes as well as current affair classes also, book references. See that what articles of the Constitution can be quoted from there. All right, if there is a question on poverty alleviation, you can add articles from DPSP. All right, second is what keywords can be added. All right, what is the keyword? All right, if there is globalization, there could be a keyword like glocalization. All right, there could be a keyword like glocalization. So does your essay have some keywords and certain ideas? All right, then does it have an enlightened idea? What you call a thinker. For example, you're writing on poverty, can you include something like Amar Sen's capability approach? All right, capability approach as an antidote. So try to see whether you are having something like this or not. All right. So make sure that this will, so this is all as far as essay is concerned. All right. So we'll be commencing with the program. Eventually, I think it's the first test is starting from 1st of July. All right, so you will be getting a booklet for it. Make sure that you go through it. We have put everything that has been there in the class in the document. It has been, each word has been typed. And for any queries with respect to the program, please mail on this essay@forumias.academy. All right. All right, thank you, class.